Hi guys and welcome. You're joining me today for a remake of a jumper that I've already got. This is the jumper in question and you can see it's just got a roundish neck. It's only got a short sleeve on it, but it's probably 3/4, and then it's got a straight bottomed hem. This is the jumpsuit and I'm actually just going to be using the legs to make a full length sleeve for my top. So let's get started. So I've got my fabric laid on the table and I've turned the top inside out and I've literally just laid it flat onto the table. I've tucked the sleeve in so you can't see the sleeve, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around it. I'm going to cut the back piece out first, and I've got my tailor's chalk and I'm just going to mark all the way around it. And because I'm going to sew it to the same spec as in, I'm going to overlock it. I'm not going to be allowing any seam allowance, because where that you've got the overlock in there, I'm just going to mark around the edge so that when I overlock it, it's the same spec as what this top is done to. Although with the neckline, there's a bit of a turnover on that, so I'm just going to obviously put a little bit of a seam allowance going around the neckline. I think what I'm going to do as well, just thinking about it now, I'm going to make the top a little bit longer so that if I wanted to wear a belt with it and pull it up, I can do. I'll just pull this up. Now, it's a really long piece of fabric, this. Right, so let me just get that too. It's just slipped a bit, that. Okay. Right, so I'm going to take that a few inches longer because I can always cut it down if it's too long. Right, so let me just put that there. Now to that. And that to that. So that is my back piece. So where that was laying that way, to cut the front, I need to lay it that way so that then I've got the same fabric, because sometimes we've got, you know, your right and your wrong fabric. That's right side, that's wrong side. So you need to flip it over so it's both the right sides facing each other. So I'm going to fold one piece in half, and then what I'm going to do with that, I'm just going to come down a little bit lower to give me my scope on the front. Right, so what I need to do now then is with the jumpsuit, I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm going to pull the legs through. Right, so where there's the elastic bit in the middle for the waist, I'm going to cut all the way around that. Right, so I'm going to cut all the way around, separating the legs. Get rid of that. And then there we've got two separate legs, which is going to be as sleeves. See there. So I'm going to go back to the jumper. I'm going to fold that so it's in half. I'm going to pull the sleeve through because it's obviously the sleeve that I need at this point. And I'm going to put that right at the top there and then get the shape of the top of the sleeve. So I'm just laying that at the very top where the trouser crotch is, and then I'm just going to lay the sleeve down, and I'm going to get the tailor's chalk. I'm going to mark the shape of that. So it's going to come up and fetch it here, because obviously it can't be that wide to fit in my top. So that's going to have to come down from here, and what I might do there is I'm going to taper it down because I want that width at the bottom. So I'm going to just taper that like so. Right, so that then is one sleeve. So let me get the other leg. So going back to this. So that there is where I need to stitch the seam. So we're going to head to the machine now then and get it stitched up. And what I'm doing at this point is I'm just coming up the sleeve where I marked it for it to join the main body of the sleeve. So where have I marked it? There. Right, so I've been and got the body of the top, and what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to overlock around the neckline. Right, so I'm going to put the necks together at this point. And I'm going to stitch across the shoulder seam. That's it, lined up perfect. And then I'm just going to go and go down one side seam. Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite side. Right, so I'm just going to overlock the hem. Okay, so that's all overlocked. So I'm up at the point now where I'm going to be pinning the sleeves into the bodice. So I've turned the sleeve the right way, but what I need to do is here, I need to find the centre point at the top of the sleeve. I'm just going to put a clip to say that that is the top. So I'm going to get where my sleeve is here, and I'm going to put, because it's turned it the right way, I'm going to be putting it inside the top, but the top is the wrong way. You can see the selvage there where it's been overlocked. They're both right side fabrics facing each other. So I'm going to clip that top to the top seam. And what I'm doing with this, because I am clipping the top to the top, and then I'm going to clip both the bottom seams, which is going to be this seam, together, I'm going to be getting the right amount of the sleeve down the front and then the right amount down the back. So you're not going to have too much in one, not enough in the other. So I've got the bottom and the top clipped there. And then I'm just going to start at the bottom, which is this one, and then start working my way up to the top and clipping it as I'm going along. And I'm probably clipping it every 3 inch. I've got a little bit of excess on the top there, as you can see, and I'm going to leave that because what that will do is it will put a little bit of gather at the top of the sleeve. So I'm going to go to the opposite side. I'm going to go back to the jug and I'm simply going to top stitch around it before I go back to the overlocker and just overlock to neaten it. Let's go. Right, I'm going to stitch with the sleeve bit being on top, and I'm going to start underneath, not on top. And I'm just going to be putting the fabric and running it down the side of my machine foot as a guideline. When I get to the top seam, this is where the gathering needs to happen. Just going to overlock. Around where I've just stitched. So what I'm going to be doing now then, I'm going to be going round all the top, and where I've got these little bits of overlocking, I'm just going to be tacking them down, cutting all the excess cotton off and neatening it up. Right, so I'm going to go around the hem now and put, I said I was going to put a decent sized hem on that, didn't I? So I'm going to look at putting a hem on that's about that. So it's going to be about 1.5 inches. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just under 1.5 inches that. So I'm going to start at the side seam. I'm going to put a magnet on that's going to keep that to the same length all the way around. Right, so I'm going to go around now and do a second row of stitching so it's got the professional look to it. And the stitching that's already there, I'm running that on the outside of the foot. Alright, so that there, you can see with the black on black is the twin needle. So I'm going to go around the neckline at this point, sleeve in there, and I'm just going to be turning it over once. It's going to have a small hem, I'm just going to turn it over. I'll show you how deep it is after I've done it. And once again, the overlocking, I'm making sure it's going to be inside, underneath the hem. Right, so what I've actually done there is I've turned the overlocking over. I've stitched in the centre of the overlocking as my guideline, and this edge that's on the edge is what I was running on the outside edge of my machine foot as the guide to keep it level all the way across. And then that's the right side of the top. So you can see the finished look, guys, when I've actually put a studded belt on with it. If I was going out on a night, this would probably be how I would wear it. It's got a nice simple neckline, so there was no need for any fancy interfacings or bias bindings. I've just overlock it and put a tiny turnover on that, so that was super easy. My nice flowing sleeves. I'll just take the belt off so you can see the length of it with that off. So you can see it's a nice longer top. So there's two ways that I can actually wear this. If I was wearing it on a day, I might even still wear it with a belt, or just wear it like this for a simple day look, and I could dress it up with a lovely long necklace. So I hope you've enjoyed this easy make, guys, and it just goes to show you, whether you're a man or a woman, we all wear jumpers and t-shirts, and we can adapt different clothes to be different things. So these sleeves used to be a pair of trousers, but now they're a lovely floaty sleeve on the top, making it an easy jumper to be worn day or night. So thanks for joining me, guys. Take care and see you soon. Bye for now.